In the NFC East, the Washington Redskins are still in the hunt for the playoffs. But the playoffs are like musical chairs, and no team wants to be left standing when the music stops. Therefore, our points for the day are: protect the passer, rush the passer, and run the ball. Without looking back, we know which team is already out of the playoffs. Bye. They're gone. We'll be back.
All right now, it's the big yellow taste of Kellogg's Corn Pops, as portrayed by a music video.
Yeah. Pop sweet glaze goes bling like my ring. That sweet puffed crunch is tight like my limousine. So yellow and delicious. Are you feeling ambitious for a taste that's so large? The cereal superstar.
It's a Pops thing, sweet crunchy bling bling.
The cereal is the dealio.
Big yellow taste, sweet puff crunch, part of this complete breakfast. You gotta have my Pops.
People who visit Geico.com could save hundreds on car insurance, yeah? Big news, yeah? But not if no one hears it, which is why I need you to help spread the word. Otherwise, our big news is nothing but a stray little fact. A wee orphan of truth wandering the streets looking for a home in someone's ear. Oh, that was easy.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus Offensive Player of the Week is sponsored by BB&T. You can tell we want your business.
Clinton Portis, 105 yards. 3 weeks in a row he's run for over 100 yards. The person that I brought in this week for the show is a person that's been with us quite a bit. You've been calling the office over and over again, asking for the big fellow to come back. I'm talking about the one and the only, one of the toughest guys I know, Big Trey Johnson. What's up, Trey?
What's up, man?
Trey, tell me this. When I speak of tough, Clinton Portis is running well. This offense seems to do better when it runs well. Is this something because those linemen have really become more physical?
I think so. I mean, I think they improved their play from when I was here the last time, and they had those back-to-back bad games versus Kansas City, and I forget who the other team was. But the fact that he's had a 3 straight 100-yard games in a row, the boys up front have got to be doing something. He can't do everything by himself, even as bad as man as Clinton Portis is.
Yeah, even you guys can jump in anytime you want, but what they have to do against this Dallas team, because if we're realistic, this Dallas defense gave them fits the first game.
Yeah, and you know what? You think about it.
Three-man line, too.
Yeah, they're going to be playing a 3-4, and Brunell's going to be rolling into Greg Ellis, and Levon Glover. And you got Ellis has got 8 sacks, Glover's got 3 sacks, and he's going to be rolling right into the teeth of that defense, Tony.
Well, the defense gave up 400-some yards against KC,
well, wait a minute. This is offense segment, right?
But no, I'm just saying the Dallas defense gave up 400 and some yards against KC, and then they passed for 340. Trent Green did. So I think the Redskins need to control the ball on the ground and keep Dallas's offense off the field, but they still have to go up top.
Can I ask you a question, Tony? I'm really concerned about Mark Brunell. It's sort of like this incredible shrinking quarterback. Only 16 touchdowns this year. He's had 4 or 5 key fumbles. He's brought the team back 4 different times at the end of a game, couldn't do it. His yards, percentages, everything are going down. Is he tired? Is he old? What's going on?
It's a combination. You can't just put that on Mark Brunell for the simple reason there's 10 other guys out there. When he's getting hit and he does not know the man is coming, you may fumble. At the same time, he's trying to play safe ball, whereas if he doesn't have someone down there, he's not trying to squeeze it in, he'll throw it out of bounds. So really, you can't attribute everything to him being tired of going down. What you have to do is look at the offense in general was up, down. That's what's happening. Speaking of that, 3-man line, you're a big offensive guard. Tell our fans, what would you think would be the best way to attack it?
I'd have to say zone blocking in a 3-man line, because you're able to get those big guards on those linebackers and make it prove they can come up and fill those holes. Plus, you can get good double teams at the point of attack and allow Clinton Portis to go back there, redirect, cut back, and do what he does best.
Now, what about going deep with Antonio Brown?
Well, the receivers, I was just getting ready to say, the receivers have to pick it up this week. 17 points is not going to get it done against Dallas. They've got to score. I mean, the turnovers, they had opportunities doing turnovers to score. It didn't happen. But the receivers have to get more involved. Taylor Jacobs got to show up. Antonio Brown. Santana Moss, the whole crew has to play.
He's not in the mix. I can't believe it. Antonio Brown, one of the fastest guys on the team now, and they don't have any pass patterns for him. It
but
says
he's
on
only
the paper.
been back 2 weeks.
Hello.
They probably didn't know he was going to run 91 yards.
True.
They didn't know he would get off the couch and run a 4.240.
I think that I'd get him in the game any way I could, even if it's just one of those little wide receiver screens or something, so you free up Moss. Moss hasn't had a 100-yard game in 7 games.
Don't worry, he will be in the game, even if they just put him in a fly pattern to make the defensive backs have to respect his speed.
I don't know. I think this game is going to be about the offensive line, though. If you look back at the last Dallas game, it was a game that really they won the game, but they didn't beat the Cowboys. I think this game they have to dictate to them, pound them, smash them in the face, demoralize them, kill their will. And then if you want to get cute, go downtown to Santana Moss or Antonio Brown or whoever. But you got to be able to establish that front seven that they're going to dominate for 60 minutes.
You know, boys and girls, get out your pens and pencils.
Yes,
you heard that young man just said, you heard Gary Clark, and now you're learning what the old Redskin perspective is. That's when you go out and you pound somebody, you hit them in the mouth, and you win games. You guys know that for real. Fans need to know when they hear these guys come back that's been successful, that's what they need to win.
Tony, you know how important this game is. Chris Samuels is a little nicked up. He had an MRI this week on his knee, but he's going to play because this game is big. The Dallas Redskins matchup is back alive.
They better give him some help because he's got Greg Ellis over there.
Oh, it's Greg on the right now. He's not over. He's not over.
He's over across from Samuels.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter who's on the field. The Dallas Cowboys will be here in FedEx Field. We'll be back.
The Dallas Cowboys, FedEx Field, Ambush.
More choices, better choices. The all-new Toyota Tacoma, Motor Trend's 2005 Truck of the Year, has the best resale value of any pickup. The new Tacoma is nearly 6 inches wider and a full 5.5 inches longer, with 30% more horsepower, a towing capacity up to 6,500 pounds, and the all-new composite bed that won't rust comes standard. The spacious Tacoma is clearly the leader in its class. Toyota dependability, moving you forward.
A plane with a long history? Not a good thing.
The Defensive Player of the Week has been made possible by Toyota. Get the feeling. Toyota.
Carlos Rogers playing well. The young defensive back has come into his own. Mike, let's talk about it. Defense.
All right.
This defense is playing better. They're getting a better pass rush. If we can get number 56 back, Big Arrington, I think they'll stand up to the task. But one thing they have to do is get to Bledsoe.
I loved what they did last week. They had 5 defensive backs. And they pretty much gave up on the running game because the Cards didn't have one. Well, I'm sorry, but I really don't think the Dallas Cowboys have much of a running game. They're only averaging 3.4 yards a carry.
Don't be
and
fooled,
I would
Mike.
play more defensive backs and I would blitz more.
They have a running game, Mike.
Yeah, but I just don't think it's anything you have to put 8 up front for. I think you put your backs back and you cover these four guys that have 18 touchdowns among them.
I don't put 8 up front, but they need that 7 up there to work well because they do have one of the best offensive lines in the game, do they not?
Exactly, Tony, and unlike Mike, they got running backs, Julius Jones and Mario. Yeah, but Tony, what concerns me more is the Redskins are a little beat up in the secondary, and they've got their work cut out because Dallas got some strong receivers too. But you've got Sean Springs is not 100%, Carlos Rogers is not 100%, Walt Harris is not 100%, but they all are going to play because they've got to play in this game. But that secondary concerns me a little bit.
Yeah, Keyshawn Johnson on those slants, and that'll be something they'll be trying when he goes about 5 yards slant in. He has a big body. Terry Glenn represents the speed that they have out there, so those cornerbacks will have to work very hard.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough day. I mean, it's December, so nobody's going to be 100%. Hopefully on both sides of the ball, but I have to say I'm not really a big fan of Dallas' running game, but you have to establish the fact that you can stop it first. Anybody can get hot in the NFL and have somebody like a Julius Jones or whoever the other guy is, get 100 and start getting that momentum going. Now what are you going to do? You're sitting there scrambling for alternatives instead of just, I think they've got to come in, the Redskins do, and establish themselves from the door. They have to become a smash mouth defense as well.
But do we get help by them coming to the grass field?
At
Number
4
one,
o'clock.
at 4 o'clock when it'll be about 30 degrees, and all that pretty quick stuff is out the door. They have to play football.
Exactly, Tony. But I think, like the offensive line, Trey said, it's going to win it up front. The defense also. I think the defensive line, you've got to be happy.
No question.
They've shown up
They have
big.
played
Joe
well.
Salavea is going to play this weekend.
Yeah, I'd like to see Big Joe back, but at the same time, as Donna has mentioned, the defensive line is playing much better. The linebackers are playing real well. And I tell you what, as a defense, they're poised for this game. This is the make-or-break game for both of these teams.
They've got to put pressure up front, too, as far as Drew Bledsoe, because he passed for 300-some yards against KC, and if you let him back there, give him the time, he's going to hit those receivers.
With Salavea back, I think Griffin's going to have an amazing game.
Yeah, but he's back, but Mike, he's been out for a couple of weeks, so you don't look for him to be. If you think about Griffin's first week back, he was good, but the last two weeks he's been great.
I have to say, don't forget about Larry Allen, though. Is Larry Allen still playing?
Yes, he
Yes,
is.
700 pounds.
Exactly.
That's in your neighborhood.
Yeah, that's about 20 pounds more than I can do. I mean, he was my roommate in the Senior Bowl. We remained good friends and everything like that, but I think he's the type of lineman that can shut a guy down by himself. And if they do go to the passing game with that tight end they have, those wide outs, that they have, and Drew Bledsoe who can sit back there and throw that thing, it can cause problems because they still have to prove and they can get pressure from the defensive line. The front four can still get pressure consistently, and if they can't, that tight end, those wide receivers are going to eat them alive.
Yeah, Trey made an important point as far as the tight ends, because Dallas sneaks those out a lot.
Yeah, they've always done that over the years.
Campbell and Witten, and those are two nice tight ends, too.
Big ones, too. When we come back, we do something we haven't done recently, is talk something good about the special teams. We'll be back.
Pumpkin pie, the little D, and it's Skins Baby and the 12th Man, 23 to...
Salmon spend most of their adult lives in the ocean. After maturing, they migrate back to spawn in the same rivers and streams where they were born. It is here that many a salmon's life is cut short. However, there is good news. I just saved a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, son. Learn anything new at school today?
Actually, I did, Dad. Like, did you know a lot of the diseases that men die from, like cancer and heart disease, are often preventable? I learned that just by going to the doctor once a year. Just might save your life.
Didn't know that.
Dad?
Yes, son.
Have you had a checkup this year?
Make an appointment with your healthcare provider or call the D.C. Department of Health today. Men's Health. It's not just about you. It's about family.
Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus Special Teams Player of the Week has been made possible by Geico Direct. Call 1-800-DIRECT-1 for the affordable alternative.
No doubt about it. We were talking about this. We've been talking about this young man ever since he was cut after the first game. We said this guy could be a game breaker.
You said it, Tony.
We said it last week on the show. Can this team win on special teams? And that's what happened.
That's what happened, Tony. And we've been waiting, holding our breaths as he waved to the crowd and the what you call them. But this is going to be big too, because I think special teams is going to be a key, because Dallas's special teams did not play well. They gave up some big kickoff returns. So guess what? He may have another one.
But Trey, every time you have a team, you got your offense, defense, and special teams are very important. That year you guys went to the playoffs, your special teams were very prominent in it.
Oh, Brian Mitchell, man, what can I say?
No question.
We were loaded. We were loaded. We were starting on R40 on average throughout the whole 96 and 99 seasons, and to have somebody like him and guys who can rally around that focal point person is tremendous. I think they got a great kicker in John Hall. Obviously, Antonio Brown is doing well, but if you can set the tone, the first play of every game, of every half is going to be a special teams play. If you can set the tone by making an impact, it makes a huge difference.
And for all of you that don't know how important special teams is, you heard what he said. That first play of either one of those halves will be special teams. Both halves, really. And if your special teams can do well, you really pick up the rest of the team.
Well, let's ask James Thrash, is it conceivable he would be back for the Giants game so that they have, you know, a bona fide third receiver?
Well, he's questionable for this game, but
so
more
that
than
means
likely,
he may play.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be a game decision. But Tony, with special teams, field position in this game is going to be major.
Yeah, I think so, because Dallas is not a big scoring team also. They have a good defense, and this is just as it was last week. The offenses kind of cancel out each other. The defense are pretty aggressive, pretty good. Special teams may be the one thing that happens.
Let's say one nice thing about Derek Frost, since we've been trashing him the last several weeks.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
You keep my
Donna,
name, keep my name,
no,
and Trey's
I
name.
do too.
Right?
I
Both
agree.
of you.
Well, we've been telling the truth as far as he hadn't been playing up to par.
He had a 43-yard average. He punted well. He had one inside the 20. He's a second-year player. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt, but he cannot come up short this week.
I don't think he will, and I think I've seen him relax a lot. He probably watched this show and seen how you guys were talking about it.
Him up.
But he's kicking better. The special teams are doing better. But as a team, this team has to play this game not only because they're playing Dallas, but it's an NFC East game. It's very important, and these teams are canceling each other. There's other big games happening in the NFC East.
There is, Tony. I don't know if the Philadelphia game is that big a game, St. Louis, Philadelphia, but you like to see what you're going to meet in the final game of the season and see how well Philadelphia is going to play this coming weekend.
And they played well against the Giants. And
they did. They almost beat them.
You want them to lay down like dogs by the time you get to them. Is that right? Even though Philadelphia's out of it, they can be tough.
I mean, you would hope they would lay down, but I think that's highly unlikely. You still got the Jeremiah Trotters, Indy Kalu's, and a whole cast of people who have a lot of pride. Brian Dawkins, and if they come to play, even in the role of spoiler, I mean, it's going to be a tough game.
Now, Tony, Antonio Pierce has a high ankle sprain, and he's not going to play against KC. He's your signal caller. KC goes into New York and beats him. I'm convinced.
He's very important, and I think KC needs the game also. I think people do not know how important Antonio Pierce is to that whole defense. Hopefully he's not there when they play the Washington Redskins. I like the guy, but I want the Redskins to win. But this guy is very important.
Oh, he's like Mike said, he's the key quarterback for that team, and I think he's a leader also. And Kansas City, like you said, and the Giants, both of those teams need this win. Kansas City let one get past them, so I think they'll be out to spoil the Giants.
We got a few minutes. Let's kick it around to other games that are big. I mean, what about the San Diego going into Indy? Is this the week? I mean, I think Indy is very good, but each and every year someone goes in, and San Diego really needs this game since they lost last week to Miami.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be tough. Tony Dungy had these guys playing like true warriors. One of my best friends in the world, Roman Oben, left tackle for the Chargers, is going to have Dwight Freeney this week, and he's just been tearing people alive. I mean, I tell my boy Ro, get him where it hurts, but it's definitely going to be something where it's a test game.
How about Atlanta going into Chicago? I think Chicago win that game.
I think so too. And since I went 4-1 last week, Tony picked all the same things I did this week. Well, I was 1-4 the week before, so I have to tout some progress. Chicago at home, cold weather. Yeah, I think so. Their defense, Tony.
Any other surprise?
Michael Vick is a little nicked up too, but like Trey said, everybody's nicked up at this point. But I think Chicago needs this win too, even though that they're ahead of the pack. Every game is important at this stage for everybody.
Last but not least, what about Minnesota? They're playing a big game.
Well, Brad Johnson's what, 6-0 now as a starter?
Yeah, but they're going against they're going against Pittsburgh. Let's talk about it.
Well,
Pittsburgh can go in there and beat them.
They need it too, Tony, because Pittsburgh is maybe, if they lose this game, they're in desperate of being out of the playoffs and everything. So I think they're going to win.
Though, Tony.
Well, we're going to go to the plus, and that's not about the bus, but it is about that 3 pounds of food that I'm going to eat. So we'll do a little Fairfax Hackley in there. Chill. We'll be back in a moment.
Playing DC Lottery Keno just got even more rewarding with new Keno Spin. For just $1 more, Keno Spin could multiply your winnings instantly. Just fill out your Keno card and add a $1 Keno Spin play. If the wheel lands on a number, your winnings multiply by that amount. 3, 5, even 10 times your winnings, up to $1 million. So play DC Lottery's new Keno Spin and see if you get lucky.
Attention, attention, District of Columbia High School seniors. Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus TV show is offering you an incredible opportunity to earn dollars for college. All you have to do is submit an essay on the following topic: how my involvement in community service has helped to shape my character. For more information on contest rules or how to apply, please contact your school advisor or pick up an application at your local Safeway store. You can also access information on Tony McGee's website at www.tonymcgeeplus.com and click on Youth Sideline. Don't delay. The deadline for all entries is December 31st, 2005. Good luck.
Great job, Paul. You know, Tony, the Jets don't appear to be any closer to a deal with defensive end John Abraham. Why not a 1-for-1 with Patrick Ramsey?
Patrick's worth more than one defensive end.
Okay. The Houston Chronicle reported this week that Dan Reeves is poised to take over the Houston head coaching job, and he'll bring along his old friend Ron Hill to head up football operations. Is Charlie Casserly out of a job?
I hope not, because Charlie's done a good job. Plus, I think Dan wants to be a GM himself.
The Eagles are already thinking about wide receivers next year. They might be interested in Brandon Lloyd of San Francisco or Nate Burleson of Minnesota. Both are restricted free agents, so something will have to be given up. But would the Redskins be interested in either of those players?
Only if they're big receivers and can play.
Yeah, they need one more big receiver.
They need a big guy out there, yes.
Yeah. Would Rod Gardner look good in a Redskin uniform again?
He didn't look good in it before.
The Baltimore Sun is surmising who might be hired if the Ravens dump Brian Billick. Is that going to happen?
No, they can't dump him. He's had a very good career there in the same time. He was in the Super Bowl a few years ago.
Now, here's an interesting choice for the Ravens. Aaron Brooks wants out. The Jets have shown some interest, but why not a Ravens jersey for him?
Aaron Brooks needs to prove that he can be a winner. And when I say winner in this league, take him further than where he's taken New Orleans.
Now, Pat Riley's come down to the floor, Tony. Does Miami get the ring this year?
Maybe not the ring, but it'll help him quite a bit because he bought all those players in.
All right, Sports Bar Challenge. This is not a particularly big game, but it's always fun to watch Baltimore play. Baltimore and Green Bay on Monday night.
Is
Crystal
it fun,
City.
Mike? It's been pretty painful for me, and Green Bay is even worse.
I like watching Baltimore play. 9-5, Crystal City Sports Pub, but Kirkpatrick's, wow, 12-2, Tony.
They're very good.
Tino's Mamas picking the Packers, and Crystal City Restaurant picking the Baltimore Ravens. And then also, Tony, the Ticonderoga Christmas Farm, where you can get your trees and all these different things. They still have a lot of selections through the holiday.
A lot of family fun, and it's still time for you to get out there, take that number down, go out there and ask for Doug.
Yeah, wafting into the studio even as we speak. Wonderful food from Hard Times Cafe in Arlington. Thank you. I will be eating it very soon. And Tony, Gold's fitness tip. Come on, buddy. We got to get in shape.
Before I eat this 3 pounds of food, we better listen to Fairfax Hackley.
Hi, I'm Fairfax Hackley with this week's edition of the Gold's Gym Fitness Tip of the Week. I'm here with Tracy, and today we're going to do rear step back lunges. Tracy has 2 dumbbells in her hand. She's going to step back in a reverse lunge. What this does is it effectively gets her hamstrings, her glutes. She alternates legs, as you can see. And if she really wants to step up the intensity, she'll move her legs a little bit quicker in a faster motion. This really aids people who have problems defining and developing the gluteus area, and also, as I said, hitting that hard to hit hamstrings. Tune in next week, and we'll be doing something for the hamstrings. I'm Fairfax Hackley with this week's edition of the Gold's Gym Fitness Tip of the Week.
So, we need broadband. Did we go for Comcast?
I'm thinking Verizon Business DSL.
I've heard Comcast is fast.
So is Verizon.
Well, let's talk price.
Price? Have you looked at the price of Comcast? Verizon's a better deal.
Ooh, Verizon Business DSL, the best value in broadband. Call 1-866-YES-to-DSL to sign up now.
So now I'm thinking Verizon.
I think my name should be first on the door.
The Tony McGee Pro Football Plus Stat of the Week is made possible by BB&T. You can tell we want your business.
Only scenario we worried about, they need to win the games. For our Warpath Web Question of the Week, I asked you, Big Trey, do they need the Washington Redskins a general manager?
I would say no. If Joe Gibbs is going to be the chef, let him pick his own ingredients. I'm going to say no.
You like what they're doing right now?
Yeah, I think he should be in control of the ammunition he wants to load his gun with, definitely.
You know, everybody's waiting for the picture of the week. You can see Mike is sitting here with bated breath because he went 4-1 last week. He was lucky. He got someone, the inside influence to help. Let's take a look at this. I'm looking at the Patriots, the Chiefs, the Colts, the Steelers, and the Bears. Matter of fact, Mike, we are the same.
Yes, we are.
And Donna. So no changes this weekend. You guys finally picked well. But Big Trey, what about these Giants? You feel like the Giants can pull it off? KC can't make it happen.
I think this game is going to be the defining game for the Giants. If they let KC come into their house and beat them in the position they are in, prime for the playoffs, then they're not going.
Now, what has to happen for this Washington Redskin team to win this weekend?
Urgency. They got to go all out, no hesitation, no pause, bring it to the Cowboys from jump.
Mike?
I think they need a president, a few bets, and a rock.
Get that rock in there.